Bina Bendale. Amanda is off today, so it will be just me today. I am going to be interviewing Bry. This is such an experience that we're going through right now. And all of this is going to be on YouTube. So please subscribe to the Corporate Nurse Coach Academy YouTube link. And here's Bry. Bry, welcome. You are going to be on my first member that is now going to be on YouTube. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. I'm honored. Thank you.
So, Bry, I just wanted to okay. So me and you obviously are going through this huge journey now. How did I want the viewers to understand, how did we connect? How did you connect with me? Because our story is it's so weird. And now I'm how all these pieces are fitting together, and now we're going to India together.
Oh my gosh. I know. I was thinking about these pieces the past couple days too. When I think about the last year is when I really started to focus on my practice on supporting nurses. And of course, we're in the nurse coaching world, so we're connected with so many nurses, and you were one of the nurses I just connected with. And I remember inviting you to my meditation and my breathwork space, and we just didn't find a date that works. And we had a handful of conversations on voice memo. And then I saw you on the Nurse Coach Collective talking about your corporate deal and being super inspired and sending you another message and just celebrating you.
I remember that call.
Yeah. I remember sitting on my couch upstairs and being like, holy, can I swear on here?
Maybe not. We're live.
Okay. Holy crap. Holy crap. Bina is doing it. I am so inspired, and I reached out to you right away. And then things we just kept having conversations. Yeah. And then I found out that you were starting the academy. And it was the same time where I had this honest moment with myself of I was playing small and going for individual nurses. And then your container with Amanda came into my reality of, hey, this is a how-to play bigger, get nurse coaching into organizations and corporations. And I mean, that started in October. And I'm sure people have followed since, and now we're going to India in 3 weeks.
So, one thing I want people to understand is that when me and Bry, first of all, it really started with a conversation we had. I remember you called me, you're asking me about the corporation deal. I think at that time you were working on something, correct?
Yeah.
And you were working on I forgot what it was, but you were working on something, and you were trying, and then I remember refocusing you in a good way, going, well, why don't you take this global? Why don't you take this and place it into every hospital? Because what you were creating is it was so beautiful that I'm like, it's not shouldn't just stay with just Bry and what you're doing with your clients, right? This should go into every hospital because it was such a need. It was such a beautiful program that you presented. And I think that's kind of how it sparked with you're like, well, how does that work? And I'm like, well, come join my academy and I'll teach you. Literally. And now it's crazy because I know we can't, as things are moving forward, you are working on something that will be going towards hospitals. And as soon as that goes live, Bry will give you guys more information as that comes out, but it's still in the progress work. So we're not going to release too much information on this just yet, but stay tuned. We might have a follow-up podcast with Bry when this goes live, because I believe that this program is going to shake up healthcare. It's going to shake up healthcare. Every hospital is going to want it. And it's just going to be that thriving force of what we're doing. And then we had our podcast or our interview or our blessing, our miracle, whatever we want to call it, when Steve Hardison came on our call. And how that transcribed us to, it kind of planted the seed for me and you to be like, yes, let's go to India. And I remember me and you had this conversation. You're like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, I don't know either. And then we left it alone.
Yeah.
And then last Friday?
Yep.
Yes, it was
literally a week ago.
A week ago today, you were like, Bina, I bought my ticket. And I'm like, oh, I want to go. And here we are. Now you know, not only did we set precedents and made the commitment, but it's also more about nurses giving back to humanity, right? It's also giving back to human trafficking. It's going back, realizing that when we make a commitment, even though as many struggles as we've done to get to Mumbai, it's just knowing that it's a different type of level now, right? It's a different type of coaching now. It's like our mindset has shifted so dramatically. With initially we were like, we're focused on the small group, and now we're just like, what can nurse coaches do globally? And here we are going to one of the biggest global events probably in our lifetime, and we're going to be connecting as nurse coaches in Mumbai, planting our seeds as nurse coaches on a global platform. I don't think people understand. It's not about like, and I said this on my live last week or a couple of days ago, it's nurse coaches, we go back to our core. We're going back to helping others, going back to humanity, going back to touching, healing, what we love to do at bedside. And what better way to help out this human trafficking? What better way to support a cause and to be in a room full of people who have the same like-mindedness? Like it's transformational within itself.
Yeah. A couple things are coming to mind for me as you're sharing that. When I bought my ticket for the event, I literally did not. I bought my ticket and I was still like, if I don't end up going, I know it's going to this cause.
Right.
And that's everything that you just talked about, right? Like this humanity and coming back to the core of nursing and caring for humans. And that was what was at the heart of it, at the heart of who I was being. Well, if this dollar doesn't bring me to the event, it's going to make a difference. It's going to make a ripple effect somewhere in the world for this wonderful cause.
Yeah.
And now I forgot the second piece I wanted to touch on. It left my brain.
That's okay. But just to know that your actions is then what transpired me to be like, well, okay, let's see if this could be a reality. Let's make, like, we both committed. We're like, are we going? And we both were like, let's try it. Right? Let's do it. I didn't even have my passport.
I didn't even have an e-visa.
I think that's like a lot of people realize, like, this journey that we're doing, it started with the idea, and then we committed to it. Once me and you committed to it, then Elizabeth is now going. Donna is now going. 2 other nurse coaches might be going, which I can't say their name with until they confirm. But it's a movement that we are creating that is stating that, you know what, trust us, we're putting all this on our credit cards. We're going to figure it out as we go, that it is because of what we are creating and who we are becoming that changes. And to understand that nurses are the number one respected and trusted profession in the world.
For how many years now? Like
since Florence Nightingale, right?
Yeah.
Not about the money, not about the shame, not about the judgment, not about what it is that we're doing for in that. It went back to that simple healing of touch. And that is what we're bringing back. And I cannot wait to go to India with the 4 of you. And now I'm calling it the Nurse Coaches Movement to India. I named it. And we will be making a documentary out of this. Actually, I just decided that last night. Me and my husband are going to be doing a whole a documentary that we're going to be bringing back to you guys via YouTube, so you guys all can see and experience what we're experiencing in glimpses and pieces of it. And I just wanted to say thank you for sharing this journey with me. I appreciate this so much because it's crazy. It all started from a conversation last October, or yeah, probably last October before the academy started, because you were actually one of the last ones to sign on. So yeah, it was in October because we started October 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are.
It's just, it's, you know, I remember like making that decision to join the academy and being one of the last people to join. Like you guys already had the time set, the days of the calls, like I just had to figure it out. And I'm putting more pieces together just through this conversation of who I was being in those moments and who I decided to be, right? Like all it really is a decision. Like me deciding that I'm the nurse coach that is securing organizational contracts. I am the nurse coach that can figure out how to get to India to have a life-changing experience as a human, as a nurse coach. And it just creates such a visceral feeling for me in this moment now. Because this, like, we're unique, but like, we're really not special. Right. This is accessible to anybody.
Yeah. Anyone can do this. And that's like, I think that's where I wanted to kind of gear this conversation with, is that I'm not untouchable. You're not untouchable. Elizabeth's not untouchable. Donna's not untouchable. No one in our academy is untouchable. The only difference is Amanda's not untouchable. The only difference is that once we commit to something, we do actions towards that commitment. And that's with any coaching business. If you want a successful coaching business, you have to do actions that are going to go towards that goal. So if you want a 50K month, you need to put the time in to make these action steps to secure that 50K month. It's the same principle that you would do in life. It's the same principle that you would do when you're doing humanitarian work, which is now what I'm calling this movement, right? Like, just knowing that all it does is that it takes a commitment within yourself, small actions, and it's a lot of work. We understand, but that is why your mindset has to be so strong. You have to be around people who are like-minded with you so they don't bring you down. You have to be in a room full of people who do not judge you, who are not in competition with you. Because those are the ones that are going to bring you down. That is when we go back to, you know, the chains that we talked about in the academy, how we have breaking of the chains. We break our chains away from bedside, right? Because we felt stuck. We felt like comes in. But in coaching, it's the same type of situation. If you get stuck in a situation where you're not being able to soar to your level of what you are being and what you are going to create, you are also now putting chains on people because you're not going to exceed them. Why should people not exceed me? I want everyone to exceed me. And I've told this to everybody. If you're there, if you're doing the live, if it comes in, this is my word to anyone in my academy. I will fly out and be the first person to greet you and say congratulations. Because that is what it's about. That support level is what it's about. Not putting chains back on people, not judging people, not going in. Like right now, there's a lot of room right now of like, you guys are going to India? Well, who else is going? Who else wants to come? Join us. Let's go. Hey, it's open to everybody. We're staying at the JW Marriott on Juhu Beach. And we're taking Emirates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is what comes in. Like, if anyone else wants to know, that's what comes in. And guess what? This is what I want everyone to understand. I have not met any of you guys in person. Correct? That's an honest fact, right?
Right.
I am now meeting 3 of my academy. We are all connecting in Dubai. And I get to hug each and every one of you in Dubai. Isn't that crazy? Who would have thought?
It's wild. And I feel like life the past 2-3 weeks has just been this, like, I'm just following this stream and it's just like magic. Like, and it's just like, this is the people and the things that are popping into my reality, like nothing is a coincidence. And I really want to credit so much of this to the foundational work you have us do in the academy. Because the first, I don't know, 3 months, like up until the new year, it started in October, up until the new year, you weren't telling us to go out and do much action, right? Like,
No.
it was all about doing this foundational stuff on ourselves and what is our vision? What is the life that we're creating? And I was kind of like, what the heck? Like, I want to get out there. And I had to trust the process to now see like all that foundational work can really, like, that is the foundation of now I'm doing the same things that I was doing over the summer at the beginning of the fall, and I am getting a completely different result because of the foundation that you and Amanda put us through.
Yeah.
And it's astounding.
Because we are creating what you want to create. We're not giving you guys a blueprint. We don't give you guys blueprints. I don't give you guys like real tools per se. I give you guys a foundation of what you want to create and what your vision is and how to make that a possibility. Not, giving you a sales call or giving you things, which is all coming. It's all coming in the academy now. But people have to understand, if you don't understand your vision, your being, what you want to create, that's where the power lies. And if you're lost with what it is that you want to do, I promise you, you will fall flat on your face. You're going to get frustrated because you're giving systems that are proven to only work for me. You are not creating your own system with my guidance, right? You have to create your own system, your own sales pitch, because remember, you're not selling me. You are selling you in your creation and your vision. And everybody has to realize that there is a billion companies out there and there's a trillion people out there. There is no room for scarcity. There's no room for competition because your energy is going to attract the people who relates to Bri, right? My energy is going to attract people who relates to Bina. And people have to understand, even if we change one person throughout our entire coaching world, I still call that a huge success on my end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if I change one person, then again, I said this on my life, one person goes to another person, goes to another person. And at the end of the day, it's all about creating that safe place for our clients, creating that safe place for organizations to trust us as nurse coaches to bring back happiness back to the world. And that's what it's truly all about. And understanding that, I will be your biggest supporter every step of the way, whether you make $10 or you make $20 million. Guess what? I'm still going to be sitting on this chair, probably in my office, and still supporting you. Expect a call, and saying, don't forget about not forget about me in a bad sense, right? I don't want people going, oh, don't forget about me being on one. No, it's just more of reminding you to stay humble, reminding you, that, like, hey, J-Lo came from Jenny from the block, right? Like she sang a song on it, and that's my big preach, you're never going to lose who you are, regardless of however much income you make. And that's like the number one thing what we also really, really enforce in our academy is
You do. And you even brought it up as we were like gearing for the interview with Steve.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with income, but that brought a lot of traction, that brought a lot of conversations and attention. And coming off of me taking a little bit of a social media hiatus and then seeing like all these friend requests and all these messages in my inbox, it can feel like I need to respond now, and I need to like, it can feel like a lot of this pressure. And it again comes back to this foundational, no matter where I am, what I'm doing, who I'm talking to, I'm being Bry.
Yes. Let's talk about you going on hiatus for a little while, and how did it feel you coming back on? Because I remember my conversation with the Academy with, it's your story to tell, your choice when to tell it, and to not let anyone else take away this experience from you guys. Remember? And I was very clear that there's going to be a lot of questions with why Bina. And I know a lot of that came up on a lot of different calls, and that's still okay. And just to really go back to just understanding that, things happens by coincidence. I don't know about that anymore. I think it's just because of who you're being. And when you are on the right path of what you are truly being, true being to who you are, that's when things are successful. That is when things explode. That is when I'm now, even in the Academy, me and Amanda had this conversation last night, is we watched some of the first or second cohort, your guys' group calls to now. And
oh gosh.
it is so rewarding to watch you guys now being confident in who you are, being confident with what you guys are delivering, being confident and stating your vision. When someone says, hey, and I'm going to ask you an honest question, Bri, what is your vision?
My vision is to bring human care back to healthcare.
Were you able to state that 4 months ago?
Oh, no.
Yeah. That is the key. You are able to respond when people ask you, not, hey, Bina, what's nurse coaching about? I think it's this, and I think it's that. Like, you got to know what it is. My vision is to get nurse coaches into an organization throughout the entire world, helping parents with special needs feel valued and heard. Having anyone have the confidence to be who they want to be. That's my vision. But I was not able to do that 4 or 5 months ago. Well, maybe I was, but even with the guidance with you guys, right? Hearing it comes in. Someone asked me this when I was at getting my passport yesterday, actually. They were like, oh, you're going to India? I was like, yeah, me and 4 other students are going now. I call you guys students. I should call you guys members. Sorry. I don't know what else to call you guys at this point right now. I'll figure out another word. But I was like, yeah, 4 of us are going now. And she goes, wow. And she goes, what's a nurse coach? I said, nurse coaches are transformational. I said, they're transformational. We are healers, and we are here to bring back love back to the world. You know what she said to me? She goes, wow. She took my 1-page flyer.
That's what it's all about, though. The organic connection. Right.
And the funniest thing is I handed off my 1-page flyer to the passport people, because they kind of were, because then I started a whole group conversation going on, and my daughter was just like, my mom's a nurse coach and says this to everybody. It was the funniest thing. And then it was the cutest thing in the world. But then I ended up having like this conversation with like 10 different people. And then the passport agency people were like, what is it that you do? Because I showed them about the conference. I showed them about things that they have, because they ask you, why are you going? And I explained to them, this is what I'm doing. I want to go because the nurse coaches, we're going back to humanity. I want to spread love. And then they were like, what is it exactly that you do? I was like, oh, by the way, here's my 1-page flyer. So now my one-page flyer is at the U.S. Embassy, at the U.S. passport people too. They go, can we have a couple of more? I said, absolutely. They go, can we hand these out? 110%. Please do.
Mm-hmm.
I gave them like whatever I had in my hand, which was like 10. And my daughter's like, maybe you should print that and print more.
Maybe.
My daughter was so cute. And they were like, we are. They go, you've given us I said, you can have permission to anyone who needs help, especially in this state when we're at like the passport agencies. There was a lot of stressed out people there, you know. And I sat, and you know, the thing is I sat with them. I went around, and my daughter's like, you're going to talk to strangers? I said, yes, but look, I'm going to teach you how to talk to strangers in a very beautiful way. So she's like, okay. So we did. I sat down. This one lady was crying. I went up to her. I was like, hi, I'm Dina. This is my daughter, Rhea. Why are you crying? And she tells me she has to go to Mexico and she needs her passport to see her grandma and all this different stuff, whatever. I forgot the whole story. And kid you not, within 10 minutes of deep coaching her and just listening, my daughter was like, it's going to be okay. Everything will work out. Everything will happen when it needs to happen. This is my 6-year-old talking. And she got up to the window. She told her story. She was scared she was in again. I don't know the whole situation. And then the craziest thing is the gentleman heard her story and felt so compelled and went back. I don't know what conversation happened, came back, and they granted her visa, or they granted her passport the same day. She comes back to me and she's like, can I give you a hug? I was like, you can give me the biggest hug in the world. She goes, thank you. Thank you. She says, I don't know what you said to me, but I was able to compile what I'm stating, and I said it to them in a way where I'm now getting my passport at 3:00 today. And my daughter was just like, she came up and she turned around, she goes, can I give you a hug? And I was like, and she kind of looked at me, she's like, what? And I was like, go give her a hug. Then of course afterwards we washed our hands and went back to our germaphobe world. And we went in. But
but she said, I don't know what you said to me. And like, again, it comes back to like, it really, like her words, like they really don't matter. It's like, how are we being with the person in front of us and creating that experience and connecting with them on that deep level? Who cares what the words are? Oh, yeah. So good.
And it goes back to just the connection.
Yeah.
I didn't approach her to be a client. I didn't approach her to be like, hey, this is what we're doing. You know, here's my business card. I want you as a client. I did it because I cared. And that's the difference of getting more and more clients, is the more you spread your love, the more you spread who you are without being salesy, you know, I'm going to quote that word, salesy. That is when income will come. And I promise you guys, and now everyone in this academy now is going to see it from here on out, because all you're doing is spreading your seeds. You're planting them. You're doing it. I don't know which one's going to grow. I can't promise that, right? But if you nurture it, make these connections, those connections open up another door to open up another door. Those engagements will return, because you're doing it organically. You're doing it with true intentions, and you know what your value is, and you know who you're being, versus just trying to sell something just to sell.
Right, because I know there's value, but I'm coming from this place of, I'm going to get really curious about the person on the other side of this conversation and just connect with them.
Yeah.
And that's where I've gotten the most, literally this week, the most responses from cold emails and setting up meetings and voicemails because I'm doing it from a different energy.
Yeah.
Which is really, it's coming back to who I truly am.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so beautiful to watch you, Bri. It's so beautiful to watch everyone and to watch anyone. If you had last minutes or last words to say to the world, what did you want to tell them?
It's a big question. I just want to come back to our mention of we're unique, but we're not special. And this is possible for anybody watching this to create. In whatever it is you want. Maybe you're not even a nurse coach and you're watching this, but you have the ability to be who you are truly meant to be and create from that place.
That's beautiful. So with that being said, guys, it is the top of the hour. Unfortunately, our conversation will be done for the day. But with that being said, please subscribe to the Corporate Nurse Coach Academy. Subscribe. All our podcasts are going to be on YouTube now. Me and Amanda will be doing things on YouTube to go live, to do things. As soon as we come back from India, I am going to be creating a document or a series or whatever you guys will call it. I don't know what they're called. Sorry, guys. We're going to put a video. And it's going to be great. And that's also going to be on our Corporate Nurse Coach Academy YouTube. This link will be shared with you guys. And like always, stay blessed, be you, and we will see you guys all next week.